Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Prajujana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajujana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajujana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimadbhagavatam Grace Asa Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimadbhagavatam Grace the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. Entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 8, Dhruva Maharaj leaves home. And we're on text 42. Ta 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 gacha badram te Yamunayastatam shuchi Punyam madhuvanam yatra Sannidhyam nityaдаharehe Tattata gachabhadram te Munayastatang shuchi Punyam madhuvam yatra Sannidhyam nityadaharehe Tattata gachabhadram te Imunayastatam shuchi Punyam madhuvanam yatra Sannidhyam nityadaharehe Tattata
gaccha badram te yamunayastam suci punyam maruvanam yatra sanidhyam nityadahare Tattha gaccha badram te yamunayastam suci punyam maruvanam yatra sanidhyam nityadahare.
Gaccha badram.
It's long A. Tattha.
Oh, tattha?
Yes.
Tattha gaccham badram te.
Tattha gaccha badram te
Munayastatam suci.
yamunayastatam suci
Punyam maruvan yatra.
punyam maruvanam yatra
Sarinam nidyadhare.
sanidhyam nityadahare.
Okay, word by word translation. Tat, that, tata, my dear son,
My dear son,
gaccha,
gaccha,
go,
go,
badram,
badram,
good fortune,
good fortune,
te, for you,
for you,
yamunayaha,
yamunaya,
of the Yamuna,
the yamuna,
tatam,
Tatam
bank, shuchi,
suci,
being purified,
being purified,
punyam,
punyam,
the holy,
the holy,
madhuvanam,
madhuvanam,
of the name Madhuvan,
name madhuvan,
yatra, where, sannidhyam,
anidhyam,
being near,
being near,
nityada,
yada,
always,
always,
harihe,
Hare,
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Translation. My dear boy, this is Narada Muni speaking to Dhruva Maharaj. My dear boy, I therefore wish all good fortune for you. You should go to the bank of the Yamuna, where there is a virtuous forest named Madhuvan, and there be purified. Just by going there, one draws nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who always lives there. Purport. Both Narada Muni and Suniti, the mother of Dhruva Maharaj, advised Dhruva Maharaj to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Narada Muni is especially giving him directions how this worship of the Supreme Person can very quickly fructify. Or is it fructify? All right. So I'll read that again. Now, Narada Muni is especially giving him directions how this worship of the Supreme Person can very quickly fructify. He recommends that Dhruva Maharaj go to the bank of the Yamuna, where there is a forest of the name Madhuvan, and begin his meditation and worship there. Places of pilgrimage yield a special advantage for a devotee in quickly advancing his spiritual life. Lord Krishna lives everywhere, but still it is very easy to approach him in holy places of pilgrimage, because these places are inhabited by great sages. Lord Sri Krishna says that he lives wherever his devotees are chanting the glories of his transcendental activities. There are many places of pilgrimage in India, and especially prominent are Badari, Narayan, Dwarka, Rameshwara, and Jagannath Puri. These sacred places are called the four Dhams. Dham refers to a place where one can immediately contact the Supreme Lord. To go to Badri Narayan, one has to pass through Hardwar on the path to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, there are other holy places of pilgrimage such as Prayag, Allahabad, and Mathura, and the topmost of them all is Vrindavan. Unless one is very advanced in spiritual life, it is recommended that he live in such holy places and execute devotional service there. Kind of an interesting statement, huh? Unless one is very advanced in spiritual life, it is recommended that he live in such holy places and execute devotional service there. There was one devotee, Mohan Vilas, and he was talking with one Gaudiya Mat sannyasi, which he's very prominent, and he was good standing and not, like a real sannyasi, and he wasn't criticizing ISKCON or something, but he was respectful and all that. But he was talking with him, and Mohan Vilas was saying, "Oh, I live in California," and Maharaj said, "Oh, I'll never go to California." He said that it's just too much, and Mohan Vilas was because the free mingling between men and women and the women all over and all that. He said, "No, I'm not going to go there." So, anyways, it just reminded me. I mean, I'm not saying that sannyasi is not advanced, but right here, Prabhupada says that unless one is very advanced in spiritual life, it is recommended that he live in such holy place and execute devotional service there. In other words, you go to the Dham and you're going to have a hard time if you're not advanced. But
No, you got it wrong. It says unless one is very advanced in spiritual life, I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere and be Krishna conscious. Once you live in the holy Dham, take shelter of the holy Dham, which will help even neophytes to be Krishna.
that's what I'm saying.
I didn't pick that up.
And then it says, unless one is, but an advanced devotee like Narada Muni, who's engaged in preaching, can work and serve the Supreme Lord anywhere. Sometimes he even goes to the hellish planets. Hellish conditions do not affect Narada Muni because he is engaged in greatly responsible activities and devotional service. According to the statement of Narada Muni, Madhuvan, which is still existing in the Vrindavan area in the district of Mathura, is a most sacred place. Many saintly persons still live there and engage in the devotional service of the Lord. There are 12 forests in the area of Vrindavan, and Madhuvan is one of them. Pilgrims from all parts of India assemble together and visit all 12 of these forests. There are 5 forests on the eastern bank of the Yamuna: Bhadravan, Bilvavan, Lahuvan, Bandiravan, and Mahavan. On the western side of the bank there are 7: Madhuvan, Talavan, Kamudavan, Bahulavan, Kamyavan, Kadiravan, and Vrindavan. In those forests there are different ghats, or bathing places. They are listed as follows: 1. Avimukta, 2. Aniruddha, 3. Guya Tirtha, 4. Prayag Tirtha, 5. Kanakala, 6. Tinduka Tirtha, 7. Surya Tirtha, 8. Vataswami, 9. Dhruva Ghat, and in Dhruva Ghat, where there are many nice trees of fruits and flowers, is famous because Dhruva Maharaj meditated and underwent severe penances and austerities there in an elevated spot. 10. Rishi Tirtha, 11. Moksha Tirtha, 12. Buddha Tirtha, 13. Gokarna, 14. Krishna Ganga, 15. Vaikunta, 16. Asikunda, 17. Chatusamudrika Kupa, 18. Akrura Tirtha. When Krishna and Balaram were going to Mathura in the chariot driven by Akrura, all of them took baths in this ghat. So we have about another. 19. Yajika Viprastan, 20. Kubja Kupa, 21. Rangasthala, 22. Mancha Sthala, 23. Malayudhastana, and 24. Dashashvameda. Om Jnanitmanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshudamilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karirvachavam Pangam Nangaite Gidim Vikripatamaham Vande Shri Gurinditaranam Vancha Kapilibishta Kripasandevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radhikadadha Shivasma Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it is, before we get into the purport and verse, it is, what is it? Adana Shashti festival. So this is Lord Jagannath and Jagannath Puri. So I'll just read what that exactly means for those of you who forgot or don't know or want to remember. Refresh your memory. At the beginning of winter, there is a ceremony known as the Odana Shashti, which indicates that from that day forward, a winter covering should be given to Lord Jagannath. That covering is directly purchased from a weaver, so it must be washed to remove all the starch before offering it. Pundarik Vidyanidhi saw that the priest, this is in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, saw that the priest neglected to wash the cloth before offering it to Jagannath Swami. Since he wanted to find some fault in the devotees, he became indignant. That night, the brothers, Jagannath and Balaram, came to Pundarik Vidyanidhi in his dream. And smiling, what did they do? They slapped him. Although his cheeks were swollen from the slapping, Pundarik Vidyanidhi woke up feeling supreme joy within. So he got chastised by Jagannath Balaram. That's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita if you want to look it up. Chaitanya Charitamrita says 2:16, 76 through 81. Which doesn't say Adi Leela or Madhya Leela. But anyways, it's that pastime. There's actually a picture of it too. A BBT painting of Pundarik Vidyanidhi and Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. You could see the painting. So I'll just read the translation again. My dear boy, I therefore wish all good fortune for you. You should go to the bank of the Yamuna, where there is a virtuous forest named Madhuvan, and there be purified. Just by going there, one draws nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who always lives there. So, Madhuvan, it is one of the 12 sacred forests of Vrindavan. And there's a reason why it's called Madhuvan. And so I'll tell you that. Does anybody remember? That's one of the reasons. There's a few other reasons. What is it? Something to do with bees? I think that's only with Balaram drinking honey. So, I mean, I didn't know either. I'm not like trying to stump everybody here or something, but I happened to come across some information found in this book, Vraj Mandala Parikrama. It's the guide that this devotee put together. So anyways, he explains, very short paragraphs, some history behind Madhuvan. So I'll just read that, and then we could remember. And then when somebody asks us, hey, what does Madhuvan mean? How does it mean? We could say, oh, I know what it means. So here it is. I'll read it. How Madhuvan forest got its name. There are many references in the Vedic scriptures regarding Madhuvan, and according to the Puranas, the forest was so named when Lord Madhusudan, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, slew the great demon Madhu Daitya at this place. In the Skanda Purana it says, who can find the limits to the glories of Madhuvan, the forest which contains Mathura Puri? Here the Lord killed the demon Madhu. Hence, it is known in Mathura as Madhuvan. The word Madhu also means nectar, and because Lord Krishna engaged in many nectarian pastimes with the gopis here, the forest became known as Madhuvan. In this transcendental forest, Lord Madhusudan, Sri Krishna, expertly captured the hearts of the gopis of Vraj, and during the autumn season they enjoyed ecstatic Rasa Leela pastimes on the banks of Krishna Kund. Elsewhere it says that the forest got its name because large quantities of honey could be found here. The word madhu also means honey. And this was the forest where Krishna and Balaram would regularly come with their friends to enjoy their madhupan leela of drinking honey liquor. So you have to wait to the spiritual... I don't know if the devotees drink liquor, but in the spiritual world. But after feeling intoxicated from drinking honey, Krishna and Balaram would dance and sing in transcendental ecstasy along with their cowherd boyfriends. So yes, so the reason, okay, Madhu, what's the demon's name? Madhu Daitya. So Krishna killed Madhu Daitya, the demon there. so that's one of the reasons. And also, he enjoyed transcendental pastimes there with the gopis, Rasa Leela and so on, and has a profuse amounts of honey where Krishna and Balaram would drink. So this is the reason, Madhuvan. So you want to hear about the the Madhu demon killed?
Yeah.
Madhuvan? Okay. So this is just another short paragraph. According to the Puranas, in the Satyuga, a very powerful demon named Madhu established his kingdom in the Madhuvan forest. Right, devotees say that one devotee asked Gaur Govinda Swami about, residing in the holy dham, and Gaur Govinda Swami said, because that's one of the 5 most potent forms of devotional service. And Gaur Govinda Swami said, oh yeah, he said, Kamsa, Kamsa is the evil uncle of Krishna, the demon. He said, oh yeah, Kamsa, he also lived in Mathura. He was also living in the holy dham. So anyways, it seems that sometimes they also reside there. According to the Puranas in the Satyuga, a very powerful demon named Madhu established his kingdom in the Madhuvan forest. The fact that the demon Madhu lived here in this forest is also confirmed in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Some have said that in his youth Madhu had been a royal prince, but became degraded and turned into a very cruel and evil-hearted person. Hence, his father, seeing his son's demonic qualities, was forced to banish him from his kingdom. The demon named Madhu began roaming here and there until he eventually arrived at Madhuvan and decided he would establish his kingdom at this place. Madhu, like other powerful demons, was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. After performing many severe penances in order to propitiate Lord Shiva, the merciful Shiva eventually appeared before the demon and awarded him an infallible trishul, a three-pronged spear, saying that as long as Madhu held this weapon in his hand, he could never be defeated in battle by any demigod or human being. Due to the uncommon power derived from the infallible trishul, the Madhu demon became completely fearless and was indefeatable in battle. It is said that he terrorized the entire area around Madhuvan and also persecuted the rishis and Brahmins. According to the Puranas, Madhu married one of Ravana's sisters and consequently formed a military alliance with him. The son born to Madhu from the womb of Ravana's sister was called Lavanasura. In due course of time, Lord Vishnu appeared in the Madhuvan forest and slew the Madhu demon. Because of slaying this demon, the Lord became celebrated by the name of Madhusudan, which means killer of the demon Madhu. Anyways, so that's something about Madhuvan. So this is Madhuvan. So Madhuvan is the place where Narada Muni is advising Dhruva Maharaj to go. Madhuvan forest, which is very interesting, by the Yamuna. And as a good disciple, he is going to follow his instructions. So in the material world, there's a tendency to put great importance on things, on places, on people, on activities. We're putting great importance on these different things, but they're actually not important. So people, they worship all types of unintelligent, arrogant, just foolish celebrities, for example, or rock stars or whatever, rappers. Just like Mukunda Charan was talking about yesterday, saying all the foolish celebrities people are worshipping. So in other words, they're putting importance on people who are actually not important. So within our lives, we have to be careful that we don't do that, because there's so many things. And as time goes on, there are more and more things that we can absorb ourselves in that are just not important. I mean, it's amazing, actually. People are on the airplane or on the bus or whatever, and they're playing a game. It's like, okay, fine, you want to be entertained. Okay, I could kind of understand that. I mean, within Vedic civilization, within Krishna consciousness, there is some room for, you could say, transcendental entertainment. There's dramas, there's plays, there's whatever, different things. But to mindlessly play a game, which is like, just like absolutely useless. It's just like, it's like a kind of like a Tetris game. Just the blocks falling and you trying to, and spending hours like that. Of course, that you could say in comparison with so many other things, actually a little innocent, but still it's a waste of time. Because with that time, one could be thinking of Krishna, one could be reading the Bhagavatam, one can be doing something that elevates them spiritually. That doesn't elevate them spiritually, it's just a way to space out. But people put a lot of importance on it, hours and hours. The news, for example, every day people are watching, morning, evening. Evening, 2 hours people watch the news, or the local news, what's going on. I mean, okay, fine, you want to know what's going on, but so much importance on that. So yeah, we have to be careful that we do not misplace our tendency or our need to focus on important things. So we should realize what is important. So what is important is Krishna consciousness and spreading Krishna consciousness and the Bhagavatam and all the different aspects of devotional service. That's important. Everything else isn't important. But even within the realm of Krishna consciousness, we may be doing everything, but still we are really not seeing what's actually important, maybe at a particular time. In other words, we're not fully grasping what we should be focusing on. In other words, we haven't learned exactly how to be Krishna conscious. So, for example, now some people may argue this, but it is a interesting point, or a good point, I think. I remember years ago I was, there's all types of new people here at the Sunday feast, and somebody has to greet them and talk with them and encourage them. Somebody has to do that. And practically speaking, around here, it means the brahmacharis have to do that. That's the brahmachari service. Now, other places it may be different. Maybe other people do it or whatever. But at least here, SanDiego, the brahmacharis do it. And in many places, that's the case. So the point is, technically, it was actually my service to do it. So what I was doing as I was upstairs, reading Krishna book. And reading Krishna book is great. I mean, we're advised to read Krishna book all the time, and it's a wonderful book. But I was doing it right in the heart of the Sunday feast when all the guests were here, and a lot of new people, and we needed help. It was my service to do that. But I didn't get. I needed to read Krishna book. So our bhakti leader, he came upstairs, and he really heavied me out. And I didn't like it, of course. It was, defensive. And, hey, I'm reading Krishna book here. Give me a break, And I'm smiling now, but I wasn't smiling then. I was really upset. And he was, like, really heavy, too. chastising me. And he said, all these guests are here, and you're upstairs. You could do this. You have the whole week to do this. Just do it another time. And so in other words, I was being Krishna conscious, but I wasn't prioritizing properly and seeing what's important at that particular time. So it is Krishna consciousness, but it doesn't not the full picture is being seen or understood. So similarly, within Krishna consciousness, we actually need, according to our acharyas, we actually need spiritual relationships, Vaishnava relationships, that are based in Krishna consciousness, which means based on respect. That's whatever relationship one finds himself in, whether it's senior to junior or equal to equal or whatever, junior to senior, whatever the relationships are, everybody's familiar with them. The basic underlying point behind all those relationships is respect. Because if there's no respect, there's no relationship. It means, because lack of respect, that is mundane, that is just horrible, terrible. And some would even say it's demoniac. So that respect is very, very important. Without that respect, there is no relationship. It crumbles. And without that respect, the relationship crumbles, and the people, they crumble too. They don't last. They may look that they're flying very high, they look like they're almost there back to Godhead. But without those Vaishnava relationships, based on respect and affection, they just get shot down like a bird in the sky in Arkansas, right? Or wherever the heck they shoot down birds. They shoot them down all around America. But you just get shot down very quickly by the illusory energy of Krishna. Why? Because we need those relationships in order to survive. We cannot survive without them. So therefore, within our relationships, yes, there has to be that respect, and specifically, we should really come to the point of realizing that this is actually one of the most important aspects of devotional service. Because again, people, they may be doing so many things. Chanting, 16 rounds, reading Srila Prabhupada's books every day, preaching, doing so many things. But without that strong Vaishnava relationships, then they are sure to fall down. They are sure to make a mess out of Krishna consciousness. Why? Because that's just how it is. It just doesn't work. So we shouldn't think that, in other words, of course, we have to make time for ourselves. And ourselves means reading, chanting 16 rounds. That is for ourselves, by the way. You could say it's for others because we're trying to get purified and helping others, but really, when it comes down to it, it's for ourselves. If you ask yourself, why am I chanting 16 rounds? Well, I want to make spiritual advancement. Right? I want to make spiritual advancement. Why am I reading? I want to make spiritual advancement, which is fine. It's good. We should want to make spiritual advancement. We should do these things. But alongside with putting time for ourselves, how much time are we putting for others aside? So both have to be there. And if we don't put time aside for others, practically speaking, then we're missing the point. We're not fully understanding. So putting time aside for others means it means meeting with others. It means talking with others. It means spending time with others. It means dealing with others and their problems. It means when I could be, whatever, doing something else, I'm sitting down and, hearing other people's problems and trying to solve them, for example. Or just encouraging somebody at the lounge. You talk with somebody. So that's important. And that is actually what preachers do. That is what preachers do. That's what preachers have to do. And if they don't do that, then they're not really preachers. And that's what Srila Prabhupada did. Our Acharya, our founder Acharya, the person we're supposed to be following. So, I mean, if Prabhupada or so many other devotees, I mean, even my lowly self, if I added up all the time I've spent with others and talking with them about God knows what, well, people's, I've heard so much, I'm sorry, nonsense that people tell me. It's just like, oh my God, like this, after this meeting, I myself am disturbed. Not only you disturbed, now you've disturbed me. And just so many problems, devotees have this problem, that problem, or just people, they're talking, whatever. So, all that time, I mean, I could have probably read the Bhagavatam a few times. But I have to do it. That's my service. I've been given by my spiritual master. I have to do it. And I like it. It's good. So we have to do that. And in that, we have to really learn how to accept people for who they are at present. So in other words, we may not like how somebody is at present, but we cannot write that person off. Means we cannot metaphysically, kill that person, or in some really gross realms of life, people actually physically kill that person. Oh man, I don't like that person. I'm just going to remove that person. And also for ourselves. I mean, we have to accept ourselves at present for who we are. We may not like certain things about ourselves, but we can't metaphysically kill ourselves. No, we can't just give up in Krishna consciousness. What to speak of physically kill ourselves, because we don't kill our bodies. We don't like ourselves. So this idea of accepting. But on the other hand, we can't be like, okay, hey, well, this is how I am, so you accept me. I mean, I'm kind of a rascal. I'm a bit of a nonsense person sometimes, and this is just how I am, so just accept me. We ourselves have to also change. So there's many people who, we're talking about, Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he's talking about Vrindavan, Madhuvan. And many people, they rush to Vrindavan. Many fools rush to Vrindavan. And many other people rush to Vrindavan who aren't fools. But the point is that whether one rushes to Vrindavan or not, or whatever one does, it has to be under the guidance of the spiritual master. And that is the point, that everything has to be under the guidance of the spiritual master. That is what it means, Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Krishna consciousness. And if people don't like that, then they shouldn't accept a guru. They should accept their own mind as guru, and then, whatever, do whatever they want. But if they want a guru, then they have to accept that the guru's guidance. So the holy name, I mean, it says that one could be chanting for millions and billions of lifetimes. If they're infested with the 10 offenses, they will not get the goal. They will not experience the love of God, which is the goal of the chanting. So shnik shnik ram ram, right? I've been chanting for so many years. Why not experiencing anything? Well, shnik shnik ram ram, that's why. Or regurgitating the message of the Bhagavatam. So many Bhagavatam classes I've heard, I've given, or people have heard. Prasad, So in other words, everything has to be done in a certain way to get the desired result. So in other words, people, they follow the letter of the law, but they don't follow the spirit of the law. And Rupa Goswami, he brings it up. He says, niyamagraha. So he doesn't say, don't do any Krishna conscious activities, but don't do them mechanically. He says, do them with heart. Do them with attention. Do them with some devotion, as much as we can muster up. And then we will get the result. So in other words, following the spirit of the law, not just the letter of the law. Okay, well, hey, I chant, I take prasad, I hear the classes, I give the classes. But it's all kind of mechanically. So, of course, nothing's black and white. There's different degrees of mechanical, engaging in it mechanically, and there's different degrees of engaging it with the heart. So as far as possible, you want to try to engage in it with great enthusiasm. And this is what the spiritual master really wants. I mean, he doesn't want our money. He doesn't want, if we don't have any money, he doesn't want anything from us, really. But he just wants one simple thing, is that we engage in the process of bhakti with our heart and not mechanically. That is what the spiritual master wants. So if we could do that, then to whatever degree we actually pull it off, then the spiritual master is happy, and we are successful. And if people don't want to, if people don't want to accept the guidance of Guru, and also Guru means those personalities who the Guru entrusts with their disciples. Doesn't just mean one person. It means there's also people who are helping the Guru take care of his disciples. And if they didn't really like that, then they shouldn't have signed up. And if they've signed up already and they still don't like it, they should learn to like it, because that's the process. So here, Dhruva Maharaj, he is going to follow Narada Muni's instruction as a good disciple and go to Madhuvan on the bank of the Yamuna and bathe. It's going to explain in the following verses, thrice daily, and engage in so many wonderful devotional processes, and then realize Krishna, realize Vishnu. So this is our opportunity as well. We may not be Dhruva Maharaj, obviously we're not. We may not have a spiritual master like Narada Muni, but Narada Muni's instructions are coming down, and our spiritual masters, you could say, are representatives of Narada Muni. And in the same way, just as Dhruva Maharaj had some material desires, we may have some material desires, but the spiritual master very affectionately and wonderfully is engaging us in devotional service. And by him engaging us, we'll be able to come to a platform like Dhruva Maharaj, realizing Krishna. So does anyone have any, yes?
I have two questions, is that okay?
Yes.
Prabhu, you have anything to say? No? Okay, so my first question is in regards to the principle of revealing one's mind in confidence.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard from different devotees about this particular point, and I feel like sometimes the way I've interpreted it is like revealing your mind, like the emotions that you have experiencing Krishna consciousness, I'm having a tough time, or this, that, and the other thing. But then I've also heard from the devotees, you know, that principle is meant to be kind of like on the platform like Shravanam Kirtan, of discussing your realizations regarding your progress in Krishna consciousness. So what is the proper understanding of that principle?
Well, I mean, there is something to revealing one's mind in the sense of like trying to overcome certain difficulties. Mm-hmm. Because if we reveal our minds to people about our difficulties, they may be able to help us, guide us out of those difficulties. And if we don't reveal our minds to people about those difficulties, then maybe we could find it in a book or this and that, but it really helps, that direct personal guidance. So that is referring to that. And but also, yeah, it's not just that. It could be revealing our realizations, our plans for preaching, our spiritual desires, things like that.
And my second question is, what's the proper mood one should take prasadam? And you were talking about how everything that we do in Krishna conscious, paraphrase, we should be conscious while we're being Krishna conscious, rather than it not just being a mechanical process. And so, it's often talked about how Prabhupada, he would take prasadam alone, very quiet. He didn't like to be disturbed, and he really saw it as a sacred time to be with Krishna when he was honoring prasadam. So how do we understand the proper mood of honoring prasadam, and how do we cultivate that mood within ourselves?
Well, the place where the prasadam is taken should be nice and clean, like sattva, and the person should be in a clean state, means externally, and yeah, it should be peaceful, and maybe there's somebody reading, or if there's some discussion, it's not like a prajalpa fest, Let's see how much prajalpa we could fit into this breakfast meeting. Let's see how much we could load in there, really inspire us to go out on Sankirtan, right, or whatever we're going to do. But it should be pleasing, light conversation about Krishna consciousness, about at least somehow or other relating to Krishna consciousness. And the best is just full-on Krishna Katha, shlokas, this, that. And yeah, we should offer some prayers, right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer, and realizing this is Krishna Prasad, thinking, meditating, oh, this is Krishna so merciful and giving us this nice prasad. So yeah, these are kind of the basic things. I mean, it also says that, and there's a Vaishnava etiquette book put together by Chaupati. Damodar Kumar it goes through some prasadam guidelines, but it also says sometimes taking prasadam with people you don't know. Of course, we do it sometimes when we're preaching or something, but because God knows what they're going to say, and God knows what they're going to do, I don't know, to kind of disturb the whole atmosphere, so you never know. So to take prasadam with people you know and friendly basis. Also in public, he says you try not to take prasadam in public. Specifically, I remember Tirtha Maharaj was bringing up in India. He was saying that to take prasadam like outside of that prasadam hall, just like sitting on the stairs, the Krishna Balarama temple, or here and there, it's not so good. And one of the reasons is because a lot of people are poverty-stricken, poor, and they're going by and they're, looking at what you're eating or something, or just the idea of just people, just like downtown or something. It's like people go to these restaurants and they're all eating there at the table. And there's a bunch of homeless people walking by or something, like looking at the food or something. It's kind of. So the idea is to take prasadam where in private or where everybody else is taking prasadam, at the same time. So anyways, there's many other things, but does anyone have any other questions or comments? So tomorrow, Javeda Prabhu is going to, test everybody on these 12 forests of Vrindavan, see if everybody remembers them. And for extra credit, Javeda Prabhu is going to test everybody on the different ghats. So there's 24 different ghats. 12 forests and 24 ghats. So we'll see how much everybody can remember. It's not that difficult if you try.
So I don't know what to say, because if I say no, I'm not, that makes you a liar in front of the deities.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Let's say, your sentence is still going, if possible.
If possible, yeah, as far as possible. But it's probably good that we memorize these 12 forests. and the reasons why. Anyways, it's all described in here. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So you were talking about devotee relationships and how we should accept people as they are at present. So,
Like a mother accepts their child.
yeah. But one could say, oh, there's so many devotees. What's that one matter? Why does it matter if this? Oh, I don't have a good relationship with this one. Or, so maybe you could talk about why we, or maybe you could comment on that and why we should not give up on devotees or each other.
Well, we shouldn't give up on devotees or each other because that is not Krishna conscious, and that is not the mood of Krishna. We're supposed to be representatives of Krishna, and that's not the mood of the representatives of Krishna, the gurus. So we're also supposed to be gurus, and we're also supposed to be representative gurus. So that's not the mood to give up on somebody, write them off. So there was one. I'll just end with this. There was one disciple of Tamal Krishna Goswami. She's still there in Houston. She's a good cook. Her name is Padaduli, Radha Padaduli. So she, this is many years ago, and Maharaj was very kind of strict in his cooking, very particular. Like if people messed up, it was, he would let them know like that. So, and devotees were actually kind of fearful sometimes to cook for him. So anyway, she started cooking for him, and then during prasadam, he was having like this coconut chutney. So he's having the chutney, and then he bit into it, and then there was a shell in it, shell from the coconut. And then he looks at her and he says, "Just see, she's trying to kill her spiritual master." So then the next day, she makes something, a preparation with cilantro in it. And then there's a rubber band in it. And then he sees it and he says, "Just see, she's trying to kill her spiritual master." And I believe something else, but I forgot what else. So, and then she said, "Oh, Gurudev, then why you keep on accepting my service? Maybe you should just give up on me." And then he said, "Oh, give up on you?" He said, "Oh, I don't give up on anybody, So that's what he said. So he didn't give up on her, and then she became a really good cook. She's actually a really good cook. Even now, she's really good. So that's the idea. So Krishna doesn't give up, Guru doesn't give up, and also Vaishnavas, they don't give up. They may, there may not everybody has some equal relationship of closeness, whatever that means, but there's no really giving up. So that's the idea. All right, so text 43 tomorrow about Yamuna and the Shtanga process of yoga. All right, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.